it's Jessie V. So this story takes place back when I was in grade 12. In fact, it was probably my last month of high school before going to college. So I was never a huge fan of Starbucks. And I know that makes some people like gasp and shake their heads. I know it is a place loved by many, and that's okay. Don't attack me. But yeah, just back then I loved Tim Hortons way too much. It was like my favorite place to go. It was probably the only place I went. It's a coffee shop in Canada, by the way. I'm sure everyone has heard of it at some point. If you've ever met a Canadian, I'm sure they've brought it up in conversation at least 7 times. I'm just addicted to their hot chocolate. When you try it, you'll never want any other hot chocolate brand ever again. Chocolate in a cup is the love of my life. So yeah, back then I just didn't usually go to Starbucks. Maybe once a year. And this story occurs during one of those once-a-year visits. I had a super terrible experience at Starbucks, and I'm about to tell you what that was. I am not hating on Starbucks, by the way. I'm just hating on what happened at Starbucks. But before I get started, I just want to let you guys know that this is a long-distance collab with my friend Brennan Taylor. He is a YouTuber. You guys will probably recognize him from Vine, but he also has a YouTube channel which is just as awesome. So if you love his Vines, you'll love his videos too, I promise. I mean, if 6 seconds are good, imagine having him for 5 to 8 minutes. What? Embrace it. Embrace the longer content. But yeah, he has an awesome story time video for you guys, so I will link it below for you guys to check out after this video. Don't forget, because you won't want to miss it. He told me about it and it sounds pretty cool. Alrighty, so let's get into the story. Back in grade 12, my younger cousin came over one day. She was probably around 12 at the time and I was 18. Now, she is super tall, so to be honest with you, I looked like the 12-year-old and she looked like the 18-year-old. She was just so much taller than me, guys. It was super embarrassing. But that's okay because most people are taller than me. I've gotten used to it. It's not like I cry about it every single night or anything. So me, my cousin, and my sister are all watching TV on the couch in my house, and there's really nothing to watch. I mean, it's a Sunday afternoon. There's never anything on TV on a Sunday afternoon. So we just resorted to watching Discovery Channel, and as much as I love elephants, I just could not take another minute of us watching them scoop water out of a muddy watering hole with their trunks. I mean, they're so cute, but do I have to watch them drink water for half an hour? I was like, there must be more to life than this. What are we doing right now? And my sister is like obsessed with elephants, like she loves them. So she wanted to continue watching the show because after the next commercial break, it was gonna show the elephants migrating for 45 minutes. And she enjoys watching that. So I turned to my cousin and I was like, okay, what do you want to do? Name anything. Name any place you want to go and we will leave right now and go do that. And she told me that she wanted to go to Starbucks. And I was like, okay, I mean, if anybody told me I can go anywhere in the world, I'd probably say Hawaii, but she chose Starbucks, which was fine. Let's go to Starbucks. What was that? Let's go to Starbucks. So we walk in and there is a huge line of people waiting to order their drinks, and we were only standing there for about 2 minutes before the trouble began. From across the room, we heard a whistle, you know, like the cat calling whistle, that really annoying whistle, yeah, that one. And we look over and we see 5 teenage guys sitting around a really tiny table, like they could barely fit around that table. They looked to be around, I don't know, 18 or 19, and I actually recognized them from high school. They were a year ahead of me, so I was guessing they had just started their first year of like university, but I remember them being these huge troublemakers. You know, the type of students that like talk loudly in class, they question their teachers, they laugh at the substitute teachers, they constantly smoke on school property even though they're not supposed to. They just do the opposite of every single rule at school. Those were the type of guys that they were. I can't even tell you how many times they have been suspended. Isn't there like a limit or something? Is it like 3 strikes you're out? I don't know. I don't think suspensions work that way. But anyways, they were just sitting around this table looking at us like we were pieces of pizza. I don't know why I chose that. I think the saying is like pieces of meat, but I don't really like that saying, so I'm just gonna say pizza because it sounds more appetizing. We looked like pieces of pizza to them. So I turned to my little cousin and I was like, listen, just ignore them. They'll stop eventually. So I walk up to the cashier and order a hot chocolate, of course, and they put whipped cream on top, which I thought was so cool because Tim Hortons never put whipped cream on top of the hot chocolate. So Brownie points points for Starbucks. So my cousin orders a tea, and I honestly don't remember what my sister Mandy ordered. I just know it was cold, and it came in like a clear cup with a huge straw coming out of it. The straw was so long, it looked like it was gonna poke her eye out. It was like a giraffe cup. So we start walking through Starbucks trying to find seats when those stupid guys start waving over to us. They kept saying like,
hey girls, hey girls, hey girls, come here, come over here, come.
And I don't know where they expected us to sit with them because they took up the entire table. Like there was nowhere for us to physically sit down with them. But that wasn't a problem because we didn't want to anyways. So I just kind of shook my head and said no thanks. I just wanted to sit with my cousin and my sister and enjoy our drinks and just talk and catch up and just be in a peaceful environment. I mean, I only went to Starbucks once a year. I had to make it count, right? So the next thing really angered me. One of the guys came over to our table and leaned over to my cousin and said something like,
I'm sure you want to come sit with us, right?
And then he turns and looks at me and points at my cousin's face and is like,
who's this cutie you got here?
Like I had never seen someone so forward in my entire life. Not to mention in a Starbucks. Everyone in Starbucks is usually like reading or on their laptops. It's a calm environment. And these guys decide that here they wanted to pick up chicks. Like go to a bar or something. This isn't The Bachelor. You don't get to choose who you want. So I was like, you do realize that she's 12 and you're 19, right? Do you know how inappropriate this is? And I'm not gonna lie, he did look surprised when I said that because yeah, she kind of fooled them. She looked tall, she looked older than she was. So he kind of like backed up and he was like,
okay, I didn't know.
And he went back and sat down at his table. And the next like half hour, they were constantly like whispering and looking over at us and laughing. They were just being really disrespectful. Like, do you want to make it any more obvious that you're talking about us? And it was to the point where I just wasn't enjoying myself anymore. Like my cousin, my sister and I, we just weren't having a good time. We were super annoyed. Like, why couldn't we just hang out in peace? So I suggested that we just head back home. And when I stood up to leave, one of them said,
see you later, babes.
So as we passed their table to head over to the door, I said something like, grow up, or just something like that. Just because I was so annoyed with them. I usually don't get involved, but like, when my little cousin's there, I am gonna say something, you know? I felt like her mother or something. I was in charge of her. I was like the mother hen protecting my chick. Although she wasn't like a little chick. She was like a tall chick. She was like a rooster. So beside the door, there was a garbage can. So we're just about to walk out through that door. And one of the guys had finished his drinks and he went to throw it in the trash, but he missed and his cup hit me right in the lower back. And all of the guys just start howling with laughter because apparently this is just so hilarious. And you know when you can't believe that something just happened? So you're just looking around in shock like, did he just... No, he didn't, did he? Did he legitimately miss the garbage can to hit me in the back with his drink? Probably. And thank goodness the cashier noticed what was happening, so she walked over to talk to them, but I have no idea what she said, and I have no idea what happened after that because we just left Starbucks and never looked back. I just don't understand how some people can be so disrespectful. Like, come on, take a hint. I don't know, it's just super crazy to me. But as you can tell, this story had nothing to do with Starbucks itself. It wasn't Starbucks that disappointed me. It's what happened in Starbucks. It wasn't the staff, it wasn't the food, it was those stupid guys around that tiny table. And yeah, for a little while I didn't want to go back there. But in the past 2 years, I've actually been going quite a bit. I've just started to really like it for some reason. I go maybe like once or twice a month now. It's still not as good as Tim Hortons in my opinion, but it's pretty close. It's pretty high up there. They just need to lower their prices a little bit. Just a little bit. But yeah, it's still good. But anyways, guys, that was my crazy Starbucks story. Don't forget to check out Brennan's video. It will be in the description, so don't forget. And as usual, guys, my social media information is below, along with my vlog channel and my P.O. Box information, so check that out. And until next time, guys, bye!